Okay, Jacob Field here once again. In this quick video, I'm going to take you through the third critical element. So once we've got the suburb and regional level research and boxes ticked, we're confident that the area is going to be performing above and beyond organic growth in the regional or area of the country overall. Once we've done that, we can delegate back to, as I mentioned, suburb level hotspotting and research. Our national top 10 sweet spots report, which is going to give you a great cheat sheet of 10 regions across the country that are primed for above average or excellent capital growth. That report is free with any subscription here at Ripehouse. More information on that on the homepage and then on the Get Started with Ripehouse link. Check out the first video there on the page here around capital growth for some more information on that as well. Amazing resource. It's going to get us really moving quickly in the suburb level selection. Once we've done that, check out the Sweet Spots video here on the homepage if you haven't already done so, which will take you through that process of finding the individual streets in the process that are going to amplify or outperform the rest of the suburb overall. According to our research, our Ripehouse Sweet Spots perform 20% higher in terms of short-term capital growth than other streets in the suburb. So if the suburb overall achieved 3% capital growth in the previous quarter, which is excellent, the sweet spots that we identify using these tools very quickly will achieve close to 4% capital growth in that same period. Now that's really important because that's a sweet spot, that's our Ripehouse sweet spot, which does outperform the suburb overall. In many cases it's very robust in doing that. It is a bell curve. When you have above average growth in some streets, you also have below average growth in some streets. You have to make sure you don't invest in those dead spots, because if the suburb went up 3% in that 3-month period, some dead spots in the suburb may not have moved in price at all. We need to know how to avoid that. It's not enough just to throw a dart at the board in one of these suburbs that we identify as a growth area and thinking, right, we've done our hard work. This is suburb street level hotspotting. Finding those sweet spots is absolutely critical. Now, once we've done that, and that national top 10 report will help you do that. It is a cheat sheet for 10 outstanding growth regions across the country. Once you've done that, you've found those streets, you've clicked on your sweet spots toggle here within the Ripehouse map analysis page. You've clicked on your capital gain sweet spots up here. You've adjusted your tolerances automatically to find those key sweet spots in the area. You've applied those to the map. You've zoomed in, you can see them. You can see the 4 sweet spots that are on the map and how we've found that. Check out the other sweet spots video for more information around the logic and thought process behind how we find these sweet spots. In this particular case in Morayfield, they are now applied to the map. Our job now is to filter properties off the map. There's 153 using our Ripehouse property search engine that goes off like Google. It aggregates listings, it does the searching for you, brings them together so you don't have to do that. It provides them in one place. So each of these red icons on the map relates to an individual property that's currently on the market. You can view those properties as icons on the map, obviously, as list here. You can order that list based on their price, days on market length, or discounting history. So for every property on the market, you can see when it came onto the market, and more importantly, has it been discounted by the seller, the vendor at all? Potentially, if it has been, that's going to be one of the key pieces of information you can use to negotiate and potentially buy on the market, which I'll go through in a moment. Our first job here is filtering properties. So I'm only interested in the most in-demand property type in the streets that we've identified as sweet spots within the suburb. So to find the in-demand property type, click on the View Suburb Report tab here. Lots of information around the analytics of the suburb overall. All the key data we need to make decisions is listed here. Most importantly, it's given a 1 year and 3 month rolling number, so we can make those decisions around trends, etc. The one piece of information I've come in here to view is what is most in demand at the moment by residents within Morayfield, and that is 4-bedroom houses. Whenever it is 4-bedroom or 3-bedroom houses, I will chuck the alternate into the mix. They are a very similar type of property, especially for tenant demand. So in this case, let's look for 3 or 4-bedroom houses currently on the market in those 4 sweet spot areas. We've got a very powerful filtering property engine within Ripehouse. It's all about getting through those 153 properties quickly on a daily basis monitoring price changes or new properties hitting the market in those key streets and not worrying about the rest of the suburb that we're not worried about, that may not perform up to our sweet spot standards. So in this case, I only want to view properties on the map in those sweet spot areas. I only want to view 3 and 4 bedroom houses. That is my filter that I'm going to apply. It's going to go away and do that. There's lots of other filters we can apply here. We can have a maximum level of public housing acceptable, minimum rental density acceptable, bathrooms, car spaces, price ranges. Is the property located in a flood-affected area or not? Filtering that in geographically very quickly based on that data is available for the Brisbane, Ipswich and Sunshine Coast local government areas at the moment. We'll be rolling out that further in phase 3 of that flood zone rollout. In this case, it's gone away now. It's found 21 absolute key properties in a suburb street sweet spots that are going to amplify our growth, and they are currently most in demand by tenants and owner-occupiers. Now, it's helped us focus on these very quickly. We can draw geographic highlights to remove properties based on if we didn't want to invest in this sweet spot over here on the right that may be closer to the highway. We can draw a box over them and remove those. We can remove individual properties off the map here. So I'm just trying to move this video upwards off the map here if they have slipped through the net and are not what we're looking for. In this case, there's one that's jumping out at me. Lots of them have price withheld. We've got one currently under contract. We've got one here that has had 6% discounting applied to it over the 73 days that it's been on the market. So we can click on any of these properties, load up the details. Now this is going to introduce you a couple of quick concepts here about potentially buying under market. So we know that it's been on the market for 73 days. We can click on the listing history here and we can view that it has been discounted from $396 down to $369 in the 19th of July. So there has been evidence of discounting of price stress applied by the vendor. We can potentially leverage that information. It is becoming a little bit stale compared to the suburb overall. Has been discounted. We can potentially smell a little blood or sense a little bit of blood in the water. We can potentially leverage that. So that's a bit of an asterisk. Let's come back to that. Our first job is gauging condition of a property. So when you go off and you get an appraisal report or valuation report done, and it comes back to you in an A4 document, there's been no logic generally applied around finding comparables. Yes, it may have sold for 3 months ago. It is yes 4 bedroom. It is in the same suburb, but it might be a completely different standard property in a different condition. Ripehouse is very smart. We have an industry-leading algorithm that goes off and assesses the condition of the property automatically. Now, it does that granted by looking at the sentiment and keywords used by an agent. Yes, they're generally always positive, but it gauges and finds the more positive, the key specifics in those descriptive text that would signify a superior or inferior standard of property. It relates that back to the suburb in question, so it's not comparing one property in condition against a separate suburb that has a far higher price range and getting off the scent there. It does relate that back to the key suburbs in or demographic at a similar price point. So it's finding properties that are and assessing condition of properties very accurately. Now, one thing it uses artificial intelligence or some aspects of that in the algorithm. So when you actually disagree with it, which you can do, which I'll demonstrate in a minute, it will learn from that and it will get better over time. And this has been happening now for almost a year, so it's getting really, really good at assessing condition of property automatically. Now that might mean nothing apart from it's assessing condition of property automatically across all the comparables it finds for this particular property, and it's ranking them in order. So it's going to be more likely to bring you back comparables that are going to be in a similar condition. Okay, I'll get to that in a moment with our comparables list. So, if there's 50 comparable properties that have sold in the last year to this, it will bring you back the top 5 that are most likely to be similar to this property in condition. Then you can gauge the sold price for those properties, see an average of it, and appraise that property based on that. It's very smart, it's very resilient, and it's very good at giving you confidence in the appraised value of this property. Now, it's something that you don't really see in other places. It's something that we are really proud of and unique within Ripehouse. It's helping and leveraging us as experts, investors in our algorithm to provide you with comparables that are more likely to be similar, and then you can be much surer of the appraised value. But if you're not, within Ripehouse, you can ask the expert. So we have integrated chat on each of these pages. You can flick us through at any time as part of your subscription do you agree with this appraisal or not, via that chat or email. Ask the experts here, ask Ripehouse. As part of your subscription, you have a limit in what a number of those you can do per month that are free and included in your subscription. So at any time, if you've got any doubts, you've got down to that point in the process, you want to know and be very confident in the appraised value of a property, you can always delegate it to the experts, and we're here to support you in any way in doing that. Okay, so at this point, let's look at the images of this property. A number of things I do to assess condition of a property is street appeal. Very tidy from the outside, it does present very well. Recently, although maybe a little bit tired in the kitchen, so probably 5-year-old, it is very good condition though. It has highlighted the block size there, and it doesn't look to be compromised. Well-positioned house on the block. Presents very well, so it's not cluttered. It doesn't have a current tenant with very controversial taste. It is quite neutral in its presentation of paint, flooring, so it's not been detracted in any way so far from what I'm seeing. Maybe a feature wall in the bedroom there is going to slightly detract things. Fully renovated bathroom by the looks of it. In any way I'm looking at it, it's presented very tidy and in good condition. Now, I don't know Morayfield. I'm not a local area expert here. This is the first property I've jumped into in a number of weeks to analyse this. But in all cases, this is presenting very well. Does seem to be a good standard of property in very good condition, and it's neutrally presented for purchase. Has great street appeal. I'm going to be assessing this in good condition. Okay, our algorithm's gone away. It's also assessed this automatically in good condition, and it's 84% certain of that assessment. Okay, if we did want to disagree, we can override that here. We can see the full descriptive text used by the agent as well. In this case, we don't want to disagree. We've left that as good. That's going to go away, and it's going to find comparables that are more likely to be in good condition using our self-learning algorithm. It's going to save you time in finding those comparables. So you can see the full listing history. You can see your suburb level information, price growth, rental growth, volumes, days on market, etc. there. You can see all of your street level information that we've already gone through with our sweet spot analysis. It's going to go away and it's going to find the top 5 comparables that are going to be most likely to be in a similar condition. It's going to give you some really quick key information around comparable sale price in the previous months, rolling backwards for the previous 6. Number of comparables properties sold, so 6 properties sold in August that are comparable to this property. And it's also going to tell you the average price per condition. So you can see the differences in condition. Now it's brought back 5 comparables. You can scroll through the images there for each comparable. They're more likely to be in similar condition. If you disagree with it, as this property seems to be slightly inferior, you can remove it, and it will bring in the 6 most likely comparables. So you're becoming a local area expert here. You've got all the tools to assess condition of these properties, remove properties that you assess to be in inferior or superior condition, making sure this range is nice and tight. So now I've got 5 comparables priced between 277 and 328. It's going to take an average of those top 5 comparables and it's going to appraise it based on that average. It's an amazing resource. It's giving you the knowledge that you need to be able to confidently buy properties anywhere across the country. So you're assessing condition, you're assessing value, you're finding valid comparables. The really important thing you can do, and this is the next big asterisk and star for us, you own these comparables. So you do that. You're removing the comparables you disagree with. These are really key to the purchase decision for you. You're assessing value on it, but if the agent is coming back and is justifying the higher price by using a comparable that you've disagreed with, sorry I did say that a little bit fast, but if it's come back and the agent's trying to get $350 for this property because a property sold not long ago for $350, you disagree with that comparable, you see it as a superior property, you've done your assessment here, it's not on your list, you can disagree with the agent, and that is going to be part of your bargaining chip. You can pull in inferior properties or properties on the low side of your range here at 277 to really moderate and manage the price expectancy by the agent. If the agent is then agreeing with you and they can see your logic, they're going to be much more likely to negotiate with the vendor on your behalf, and that's what we're trying to do. So our first big point here in negotiating, potentially buying under market remotely anywhere across Australia is reliably assessing condition, agreeing with our automated engine, going away, finding comparables that are more likely to be in a similar condition, being sure of those comparables, owning that process, getting that range of those 5 comparables nice and tight, then disputing the comparables with the agent potentially. So we were starting off, it's going to take those 5 comparables through to the appraisal tab here. Once we click on it, it's going to get an average. It's going to run that property through a series of filters. Is the property too far away from the closest school, shopping, transport, public housing? All of these things, the big three amenities, negatively or positively affect appraised value for property. Too high public housing negatively affects appraised value for property. In some cases, up to 20% plus or minus is the adjustments that can be applied to a property positioned very badly in a suburb. We can then take this and we can take it into a report. We can see those location-based adjustments, but most importantly, it's giving us critical information to negotiate with an agent. Now, as I did mention, if you are in any doubt with any of this process in appraising property, it is obviously very critical. Conversations around, it's come back as an appraised value for this property at 280. Where should I start the negotiation process to land on that? How can I leverage the information that I have around discounting history, comparables, etc., to try and land on what I'm trying to land on? So what have I assessed as fair market value? How can I potentially negotiate a purchase under market value? So we're on hand to help you in that process as part of your subscription. Be always feeling comfortable in the knowledge that you can do it, and you can do it together with us at Ripehouse. We are investors for investors. Making sure you've got the suburb and regional level process and due diligence done. We've got some very resilient and robust suburb level research tools. Our national top 10 sweet spots report. Once you drill down into those suburbs, how do you find the key streets, the sweet spots that are going to amplify and grow faster than the other dead spots in the suburb? How do you filter? Shortlist properties quickly in and out of those streets. Then once you've found individual properties, how can you reliably assess market value and negotiate under market value? That's the end-to-end process. We're always on hand to help and support you. Our tools are for investors by investors. It's what you need to make clear and concise decisions. It's industry leading. You're not going to see anything else like this. We take pride in our data. We're constantly vetting public housing, rental yield data, crime data, making sure it's up to date. Our algorithms are constantly updating median prices and trends, etc., on a rolling basis. So it's always relevant. You can save any of these sweet spots or filters applied to property, and you can save the suburb into your shortlist. So you've got half a dozen suburbs that you're looking at. You've become these local area experts in any suburb across Australia, added it to your shortlist. Now your job is filtering properties automatically into those suburb sweet spots every day. You come into this suburb net tomorrow and there's 23 properties on the market. What are the new properties? Which properties have now been discounted? You're only needing to appraise those and you're using that as part of your negotiation. That process is very simple. It's very robust and it's a daily due diligence process that allows you to buy in these remote and unfamiliar locations that have great upside, potentially in these markets where there's lots of buyer's agent or professional investor demand. It's giving you the tools you need to make clear and concise decisions. And in any doubt, we're here to support you. So we've got a 1300 number, support@ripehouse.com.au as our email address, or live integrated chat support on the page with our investment experts to talk and discuss any property or any feedback that you have. So that's you end-to-end, 3 stages: suburban region, street level sweet spotting, and property buying below market. These are the 3 videos on the homepage. For more information or questions, get in touch with us. We're always on hand. So thank you.